Good Monday morning. A few years back, when I was reading Jim Collins' book, Great by Choice, his sequel to Good to Great, he made a statement in there that really challenged me. And he said we should always be reaching the generation coming after us. And it made me stop and ask myself the question, am I doing personally this commission? And also, are we doing it as a ministry? Because it really challenged me. And in Rainer research, I was perusing just some statistics, and 70% of youth that attend church today, that are active in a youth group, by the age of 22 will have left the church. Barna Research estimates that 80% of those raised in the church will be disengaged by the age of 29. Now, these are active youth that attend church today. Those are mind-boggling statistics to me. So as I began to ask myself this question personally and ask myself this question visionally as we lead Reclaiming Hearts in these next years, the Lord kind of deposited a vision in me that we're calling the Next Experience, where we're taking some seasoned mentors and disciplers, and we are taking juniors in high school, which it's been interesting. People have said, why juniors? And I don't know about you, but for me, a junior year in high school was a very pivotal age for me. You're kind of starting to mentally break free of being home, and it's kind of a challenging year in school, and you're wrestling with this kind of, I want to be free, but I'm not really free yet. And I just really sensed that it was an age, and I've seen it kind of in our own household, that it's an age where you really have the opportunity to solidify some real truths prior to them going to college. And then the hope is that they'll come back next year and mentor in that senior year, knowing that it'll make those truths go even deeper. And so we're just taking the truth of the word of the Lord and pouring it into them and teaching them how to tell their own story and share Jesus Christ with others, giving them outreach opportunities, and really growing them up in their faith and in their leadership giftings and abilities. And that was what we felt led to do as a ministry to start this program. And yet it is a calling and responsibility to each of us. It says this in Psalm 78, verse 1. O my people, listen to my instructions. Open your ears to what I am saying, for I will speak to you in a parable. I will teach you hidden lessons from our past, stories we have heard and known, stories our ancestors handed down to us. We will not hide these truths from our children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord, about his power and his mighty wonders. If you and I are in relationship with Jesus Christ, boy, we've got a lot of stories that we can share with our children, with the kids in our neighborhood, with the kids that carpool in our car, with the youth group at church. I remember when I was not long married. I had been married about 5 years, and I had such a heart to teach. And I had just started teaching college and career at the church I attended, and the Lord was just depositing so much in me. And there were a group of 5 little girls. One lived next door, and they all hung out together. And I felt led to start bringing them over to my house once a week and feeding them things their parents would not have wanted them eating, like chips and Coke and all that good stuff. And we would lay out blanket in the backyard, and I'd read to them, and we'd talk about Jesus, and we'd talk about their struggles. And I was just trying to find a place to share what God had done in me. And years later, it was about 20 years later, I saw a mom at a church. I would not have recognized her, and she came up to me and she said, you used to teach my little girl in that neighborhood. And she still talks about those years. Friends, I don't even know what I told those little girls. I hope I rightly divided the word of truth. I still hope I rightly divide the word of truth. But I had no idea the impact that those little simple moments would make on their hearts. And you have no idea the impact your life and your stories and what God has done for you can do to the generation coming behind you. Our children are facing things you and I would have never dreamed of facing. And they desperately need the truths that we know. You may be in a season where you're doing your best to feed into your little ones. Everybody gets that who's had them. You may feel like your mission field right now is your home, and that's okay too. It is our greatest mission field. But some of you may sense that God is calling you into other areas of service. Pay attention to that. Because you have deep riches and a deep well of which to offer this next generation.